There's a real Hunger Games going on in Nigeria. Everyone is scrambling to survive under the influence of a powerful few who determines who lives or dies as the hunger bites harder into Nigerians' household. This is our focus on this edition of the Talking Points. My name is Natafet Suleiman. You're welcome.
And I am Billy Graham Evel. Welcome to Talking Points today. Since May 29, 2023, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in as the president of Nigeria, and he announced that he has removed fuel subsidy, problems started. The price of fuel more than tripled, foodstuff, and then it keeps going on. Everything in the country keeps going out of control, and it seems as if it's just a free fall, and as if no one is in control of the country. And that's the reality that most Nigerians are dealing with today: hunger. And there have been protests across the country, and it has been going on everywhere, every time, almost every day, up to today. And Nigerians are not finding it funny.
So, but you see, before we get into the discussion proper, let me just read a little bit of what the president said during his inaugural speech. He said, "Our mission is to improve our way of life in a manner that nurtures our humanity, encourages compassion toward one another, and duly rewards our collective effort to resolve the social ills that seek to divide us." Is this what is obtainable in this regime?
As if what he said was exactly the opposite of what he meant.
Or what is quite obtainable?
Because I think the speech was supposed to serve as a unity speech, that the interests and the hopes and the mission of the government was to do what would bring all of us together. But after about 9 months in office, I don't think anybody is finding it any longer funny that this is where we are. If you were buying fuel at 195 naira then, and then now 195 to 200 naira, now it is 700 naira. If you used to buy a measure of grain or a bag of grain for 20,000 naira, now it is 80, 90,000 naira. So the hunger game is on.
The hunger game is on.
Who lives or dies is in the hands of the mighty. And so many people are not finding it funny.
It's not funny.
You know, and then things have to be done. What brought us here? The questions we are asking on Talking Point today is, why are you here? What happened? Who brought us here? And how do we get out of this situation that we are in? And Nigerians need answers. So don't tell us not to talk. Okay? Nigerians need answers. How did we get here? How can we get out of here? That is what everybody that is in this country, that is the responsibility that has been placed on leadership, to give us direction, show us the way. You brought us into this wilderness. How do we get out of it? And that is what everybody is asking. Nobody, don't turn our questions into criticism. It's not necessarily criticism, but we have the right to demand, to know, to ask that, Mr. President, what is going on with our country? Why are we buying the fuel we used to buy 195? Why are we buying it at 700 naira? In fact, someone said that they have been secretly paying subsidy behind the back door. If not so, we are supposed to be buying fuel for 1,500 naira right now in Nigeria. What is going on? And since May 29th, you gave us a message of hope. You gave us a message that you'll be uniting Nigerians. You'll be putting us together into one united family with a very good community, very, very good society, and affordable food and better life. But this is where we are. We don't know the way out.
But before we exhaust our topic, our service providers and financial institutions are trying our patience as Nigerians. Sorry, it's not funny. They're asking us to go and re-register for our NIN and BVN again after putting us through that horrific exercises under the sun and under the rain. Nigerians were queuing up as patriotic citizens to ensure that they registered their name. And here we are in 2024. They are still asking us to go and do it. Is it fair?
To the best of my knowledge, I think almost everybody went to register. And I think there was a threat then that if you don't register, your lines will be blocked. You will not be able to make calls. What happened that people that didn't do it were able to make calls? It shows that it was not an effective policy. They kept mouthing it that every Nigerian must do it. They're going to use it to track criminals, bandits, terrorists, and all those things. We have not seen or even if they've successfully used it, they've not told us that this is what helped them in tracking this and this and this. But to be asking Nigerians to go back and do the and re-register all over again is cruel and unkind on everybody. So we have to question, first of all, what happened to it. We have representatives. That is why we have House of Representatives. We have Senate. They are the representatives of the people. They cannot sit down. They cannot keep quiet and see this thing happening. They are asking us to go back again and register. What happened to the registration? Let them query it. Did they lose the data, or did they auction it to the highest bidder? Nigerians need to know. We cannot go and register and ask us to go and re-register again. What happened? If they failed in doing their job, let them be held accountable and let them bear the cost of Nigerians going. Let them buy, give Nigerians data, free data for the period of registration, give everybody 100 gigabytes or something like that, because they have to make them to start taking responsibility. I like the sound of 100 gigabytes. Yes, they are not. Nobody is holding them accountable. No, they'll just do it and say Nigerians should go and do it again in connivance with the administrators, with the political leaders, and then Nigerians should be on the street again and start struggling to register. Somebody has to be held responsible for this outright failure and irresponsible behavior.
Yes, of course. So we need to know, what do you think as a Nigerian? Is it fair that you and I have been asked to go and register our BVN and our name? So join us shortly after the break. As you drop your comments, you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And we would like to know what you feel about the hunger and then the registration of the NIN and BVN. Join us shortly.
Welcome back. This is Talking Point. We have been talking about hunger games going on in Nigeria, and Nigerians are really, really hungry. There have been protests across the country, protesting over the hungry situation that Nigerians have found themselves in. During the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, let me quote from some of the things he said. He said, according to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the whims of the few should never hold dominant sway over the hopes and aspirations of the many. If we are to be a democracy, the people and not the power of money must be sovereign. That is what Bola Ahmed Tinubu says on, and I like this very particular thing.
Very powerful.
That it is not just power and money that will determine policies and government direction, that the people.
Yes.
So since then, after making these declarations, and I think these declarations came with promises. After making those kind of fine statements and fine comments, the president also made promises that he was going to, that his government has budgeted about 100 billion naira to provide 3,000 20-seater buses that are
to alleviate transportation,
gas driven,
yes,
to Nigerians, and it is 9 months.
Interestingly,
we have not seen one.
Interestingly,
yes,
that promise was time bound, and it is March.
March,
right? We are in March. in March 2020.
And they say they are going to promise. So where are all these promises? These are the things that Nigerians are asking. Where are all these promises?
Where are the promises? And you know what is baffling me, Mr. B, is that the agitation from some quarters telling us Nigerians that we shouldn't raise our voices, that it is too early to judge the president. He is just 9 months old in office. And I said, as a 9-month-old woman, you're expected to give birth to a pregnant child, right?
They will tell you that they just gave birth to a baby.
They didn't give birth to a baby after 9 months. Yes, you're supposed to give birth to the pregnant.
The amount of suffering that Nigerians have endured in these
9 months
is more than what happens in some countries in 9 years.
It's
because
sad.
we don't even know where we are as a country right now. How can you go I think to add to this protest, the Nigerian Labour Congress recently went on strike. And what were they asking? They were not asking for anything new. That during those the inauguration, he promised this gas-driven vehicle. He promised new minimum wage to be negotiated, and up till now, it has not been negotiated, and it is 9 months and still counting. So
nothing is done, and the body language of the federal government doesn't even show that they are about to do something.
Most of their answers have been negative and arrogant and
insulting. Blame.
In fact, recently he went on air to attack the Nigerian Labour Congress that if they have any political ambition,
they should wait till 2027.
What has that to do with protest over hunger? Say Nigerians are hungry, provide food. As the president of this country, is it right for you to start talking about 2027? If you think it is too early to judge you in 9 months, why are you talking about 4 years? 4 years that is not yet here. Why are you talking about it? Why are you bringing it? I'm talking about elections that is coming in 3 or so years from now, and you are asking the Labour Party, the
Labour Congress, and they shouldn't voice out.
To go at this. Nigerians have the right to ask. The questions we've been asking is that how come are we here?
How did we get here?
Who brought us to this very particular situation? Why are we here? Why are we suffering? Why is it that we cannot buy? Our minimum wage is still 30,000 naira. You cannot buy a bag of rice with it.
You can't.
You cannot buy half a bag of rice with it. You can't buy a bag of beans. You can't buy grains, even maize.
You can't.
To eat in your house, you can't buy it. So what is that something funny that the president would joke about and start talking about 2027 with it? That is not funny. It means that this government takes the sufferings and the pains of Nigeria for granted.
For granted, we are asking who is responsible. You've removed the fuel subsidy. You made promises like the one you just mentioned. We've not seen anything. There's no sign. As though, and I remember categorically, one of the promises was food security. We're going to have a lot of food in the country.
These are some of the things they say. They will food security, healthcare will be improved. You know, what so many people missed is that the entire spirit of the fuel subsidy removal is about removing the money from the hands of the few Lord, just like he said in his speech.
Yeah.
All right, that these things cannot, the country cannot be driven by a few powerful money bags. That is going to be channeled to the generality of Nigerians and provide healthcare and provide vehicles and provide these things. You cannot 9 months later not have done
anything about it.
It's not. It's
and
not.
If you are asking
nobody should ask you. You should come on air and apologize and tell us what you have done so far.
And what are you planning? Because you see, if there's a problem, you have to look at the immediate solution. What are the short-term goals? What are the mid-term goals? Then the long-term goals. You know, I remember listening to one patriotic Nigerian that was saying, if we rice, you know, the lifespan of growing rice is 6 months. Okay, and Nigerians consume a lot of rice. We spend quite a lot of amounts of money in importing rice. We have good farms. We can grow those things. And in 6 months, this thing can be alleviated. Is that the response that the federal government is giving us? No, they're adamant about it. But if you look at it, because of the security issues, farmers are afraid of going to the farms. Even if they toil, it's very difficult for you to find out that they come back home with the harvest. So what are you doing about the security?
That is the situation we have right now in the country.
Tell us not
they
to
are
talk.
not providing answers. When we ask for questions, they respond with
shut
questions
us up.
and insults. You know, that this and that and this and that. This is opposition sponsored protest.
How can it be?
And all these kind of things. So there is a lot that need to be asked from this question, because the more they become defensive, the more we keep asking. Is it that they don't know what to do or not?
That's another
because
question.
when you keep shutting people down, you keep raising complaints, you keep bringing diversion. Even the issue of Rasanya report, it's a diversion. It's a diversion.
Don't just get me started on that Rasanya report.
Let's say Nigerians are crying about hunger, and then you
just brought up Rasanya report 12 years ago that you want to implement it now. In 2024.
Even if you implement it,
how does it solve the current problem? Our house is burning.
It's a long-term issue. I think the House of Representatives or National Assembly must be commended, because they took the Orasaya report and they set up a committee to review it, because it's 12 years old.
Yes, it's 12 years old.
It may not even be applicable in all its ramifications to the current affairs of the country. So they are trying to merge it with the reality on ground and what is feasible and what is not feasible, and then whatever it is that can be implemented will be implemented. So these are some of the things but let's go back to the drawing board. How do we solve this problem of hunger? How do we solve this problem of debt crippling into the homes of Nigerians? They are so far, they have not provided any economic policy solution to address this hunger issue, and most of the problems they've been profiling are just attacks. For example, they go about saying that the transporters, the
wholesalers, the businessmen are hoarding grains. And
recently, in terms of the money, I've seen the reviews they've brought in Binance. They've brought in recently. They suspended about 1,000 plus bureau de change operators in the country. So whatever. I think maybe they're trying to correct something that I don't know about. But
how does it drive home? How does it affect the issue that we have?
There's hunger. How can we solve this problem of hunger? And that's what Nigerians want to hear. Tinubu, come out, tell us. How do we get out of where we are today? That is why you are the president. You wanted this position for a very long time. You are there. Provide solution, not ask questions, not tell us about 2027.
And not to shut us up.
They will do 2027 when we get there.
Is it know who is alive now? Yes, going to contest in 2027. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, this is the talking points, and we're talking about an issue that is affecting every Nigerian currently, which is the hunger. If you've watched the Hunger Games, the movie called The Hunger Games, President Snow, you know what happened in the movie. A select few decide who lives or who dies. Is this what we are seeing in this country? What is the situation in your locality? Just join us shortly after the break as we find out if the government is truly ready to offer a solution, and what exactly is the economic situation of your own state. Are you finding it funny? Just join us shortly after the break. You're welcome back. And if you're just joining us, this is a talking point. We've been discussing about the issues that are bedeviling the country. We're talking about hunger. So slide your comments into our comment section. Let us know. Are you finding it funny? What are the prices of food items in your environment, so that we can all collectively lend our voices to this issue that is affecting every Nigerian. If you don't eat, you will not be able to work properly. You know, we need to survive, Mr. B, in this era.
Nigerians need to survive.
So
please
we need to,
tell us what your experience are like.
Currently.
Go to our YouTube channel, drop your comments, subscribe, press like button, share this very particular video, and let's know what you think about what is going on in this country. Things are not funny for so many Nigerians. So if what are your experiences? We would like to know, so that we can talk about it. We keep talking, we keep sharing until the people in power hear what is going on with you and what needed to be done. And I think as citizens, we also have a responsibility.
We do.
To our country. We cannot sit there and just blame and talk about what they have not doing. So what is it that I think one of the things that we have not been doing as citizens is calling our government to accountability.
Sure.
In one of the aides to the president, Daniel Bola, was on air, and when asked about the role of the Tinubu-led government in dealing with this hunger, I think his response was like the rest of the APC people. It was complaint. It's deflecting, but it has a point in it. He said that since the removal of fuel subsidy, the allocations that come to state governments have like tripled. So why are we just asking the president and not asking the state government? What are they doing?
We should hold ourselves responsible.
It boils to the point I was making, that we have a responsibility
as citizens
to ask questions. Where is this money? You have given us money. They announced. In fact, there was an argument between state governments and the federal government when the government said it has. The federal government came out sometimes. I can say it has released 30 billion, about some billions of naira to state governments to deal with this hunger. And Governor Sheyi Makinde had to come out on behalf of the governors and said nothing like that. Yeah, nothing like that has happened. So, and all this missing money, mentioned monies across state, federal, local government, what of our local government, where are the monies?
Where are the
monies? Have to come out and ask, because this hunger will keep going on if we don't come out and challenge the figures we keep seeing on air and the people that keep saying they have done these things. And what are state governments doing? What are local government? Local government is the most closest to the people. So what have they been doing in addressing these very particular issues? So you can see. I
feel in our collective responses as individuals, one of the things that I urge Nigerians to do, aside from calling on the federal government and holding them accountable, is to see a way that we will be able to manage the resources that we have. And what is part of our resources is the prices of food items in the market. You know, I recently saw a post that someone made. I don't know how true. He said, how can you, is it in retrospect, how can you buy something for 300 naira and you sell it at 1,500? That's 5 times the amount, right? We know cost of transportation is part of what is our problem. And then they'll tell you that important thing, because of the gas, diesel stuff, it affects. We know that. So I call, if the president is still thinking on how to implement the 3,000 CGN buses, okay, which would have done wonders in aiding a cost of food items in the market. We also, Nigerians, should ensure that whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're part of the transport business, whether you're a farmer or marketer or stuff, see how you will be able to subsidize the price. Okay, get your profit, subsidize the price, because you're selling this thing to your own brother. I feel this is one of our corporate social responsibility that we need to do.
It's true that you can,
right?
But they are business people. Nobody wants to operate.
Regardless, Mr. B.
But I think
regardless,
President Tinubu and his team need to do much better. They've made promises, and when government make promises, the promises should be kept. Let them begin to float these buses. We cannot live in a state of perpetual hopelessness. if you are a government and you promise during your inauguration that you are going to provide, they say they have already budgeted 100 billion to provide these vehicles that are gas driven. So after 9 months, even after 100 days in office, you should be able to give us an update, even if you are not making it available.
Sure.
Give us an update. This is what we've done. This is what we have done. We've commissioned this. We have paid for this. They are in progress.
We started working on this.
Yes, and 9 months later, you say nobody should ask you questions because you are too young to be
in
judged.
office.
You know, it's not even a smart answer. His media team need to do a very good work and provide him with something good to say. You cannot be the president of 200 million people and you are every time you answer them, it sounds insulting, it sounds attacking. You say let them go to post 20.
There's no remorse.
You know, and people will consider that you don't have remorse. Okay, but I think we want to see more action. We want to see concrete action on ground, promises that have been made. How can you spend 9 months? Because I am aware, I read through the text of the response of the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress when President Tinubu asked him to wait for 2027. It was like they were not talking about 2027. When he came, they said it was too young to go for protest. They met him in June. He agreed on some things. In September, October or so, they met and they agreed on something, and they found it. They thought it unnecessary to go on strike. All right. So
this is 2024.
So this is 9 months later, and they are going on strike, and you're talking about 2027. You should be fair to them if they think they are not fair to you.
We should learn to be proactive. So we're collectively lending our voices and calling on both the federal and the state governments to do proactive measures in ensuring that the hunger in the land that is biting hard on Nigerians is totally worked on. We need to be alive because there's a saying that an angry man is a hungry man. Yeah. If you look at it, Nigerians are just aggressive. They are hungry and they are angry. We need food on our table. So we'd like to know what you think on our topic. Let us comment on this issue of hunger in the nation so that, as Mr. Billy said, it gets to those that are in authority so that the right actions will be taken. Unfortunately, if you keep quiet, nothing is going to be done. We're going to be complaining and dying in silence. So we love you and we want to tell you that you should keep hope because all hope is not lost. Thank you for joining us on this edition of The Talking Point. My name is Nachafeda Suleiman.
And I am Billy Graham. Every Nigerians, we're calling on you, stay firm, be steadfast, be committed. We know Nigerians are not lazy people. We are hardworking people. Let's keep working hard. We hope that there will be light at the end of this very particular dark tunnel of hunger. Let's keep talking, keep posting, keep sharing. Go to our social media handles, post your comment, and let's know what you think about these things we're talking. God bless you. Have a nice day.